Welcome to One Financial Advisor's Retirement Income Advice Service. My name is Penny, and I'll be here to help you on your journey. Just look for my icon on screen. There are 3 stages to your advice journey. Preparing for retirement is the first stage. Over the next few pages you'll find information about the scope of our service, eligibility, the type of information we ask you, and some reference material to help you think about how much your retirement could cost. This is to help you understand what we do, and how to prepare for the rest of the application. It's important stuff and well worth a read. Stage 2 is checking affordability. We'll ask you about your current financial position and anticipated spending in retirement to assess whether we believe it's affordable for you. If you're not quite there, we'll help you explore some options with a view to meeting your objectives. The final part of the journey is where we complete the picture. We want to understand how you feel about things like income security and investment risk, so that we can tailor our advice to suit you. Remember, all of your data is saved as you go, so you can take a break whenever you like. If you haven't already, you'll shortly receive an email from one of our experienced financial advisors, who will be available to help you at any point throughout your journey. See you later. Hi Peter, what can I help you with?
Who are the Pensions and Lifetime Savings Association?
The Pension and Lifetime Savings Association, which is a well-respected industry body, produces examples of the cost of living in retirement, and these are intended to be used for guidance only. The amounts you need will almost certainly be different, but the overall amounts will help you form a view about what sort of lifestyle you will be able to afford in retirement. When you're thinking about this, you should also ask yourself what is essential and what additional amount would be desirable. Essential income should be the absolute minimum that you could afford to live on. In developing a plan for you, one financial advisor needs to make sure that your income will be sustainable for life, and knowing the minimum you need is important, so please think about this carefully. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, please.
Okay, what would you like to ask?
If I want to do a detailed analysis of my lifestyle needs in retirement, what's the best way to go about doing this?
It's very important to make sure you have enough income to meet your essential living expenses in retirement. One financial advisor takes account of all your pensions, sources of income, and other assets that you could use in retirement to make sure you can meet your essential lifetime needs. Desirable expenses are things that you would like to spend money on beyond your basic needs, like eating out and holidays abroad. It is important to give a lot of thought to your income needs in retirement and to make sure that you get the split between essential and desirable expenses right. You should look at your bank and credit card statements to understand what you spend your money on and what is essential. Do this over a reasonable period of time so that month-to-month variations are evened out. Would you like to ask me anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, you know where I am if you need me. Hi Peter, what can I help you with?
What's involved in the affordability check?
It is important to think carefully about your income needs in retirement, particularly the essential minimum income that you need to last for life. One financial advisor needs to know this and any additional spending goals you may have to see whether you can afford to retire. In doing this, we take account of all your assets and sources of income, as well as possible inflation, investment returns, and how long you may live. If you can't afford to retire, we will suggest ways that you can meet your minimum expense requirements. There are a number of options available to you. Once your essential expenses are established, you should think about the extra desirable expenses that you would like. You can do this at a high level or use the table to work out your expense needs in detail. Your credit card and bank statements are useful sources of information. Once you have entered all your information, pensions, assets, debts, and sources of future income, one financial advisor analyzes everything to see if your plan is affordable. In other words, we look to see whether you can meet your essential living expenses and any future goals you have planned. Don't worry if it looks like your plan doesn't work. I will be on hand to help. Would you like to ask me anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, you know where I am if you need me. Let's see if we can work together to tackle this shortfall of £4,493. You could see if you have any scope to reduce your essential living expenses. Perhaps there are some items that you have included which are desirable rather than essential expenses. You could consider reducing your goals to see if that would save enough to fund your essential living expenses for life. Another option you could consider is generating some additional income for a few years, perhaps by working part-time, delaying your retirement, or raising some income from renting out part of your home. You could also consider using your home. At some point in the future, you could consider downsizing, moving to a cheaper area, or getting advice on releasing some equity from your home. Finally, you may have some money coming to you in the near future which you have not included in your retirement plan, such as an inheritance. Which option would you like to try?
I'd like to use my property.
You'd like to use your property, is that correct?
Yes.
Releasing capital from your home can be complicated and is not something to rush into, unless this is part of your change of lifestyle on retirement. There are several ways in which your home can help to improve your plan by releasing some capital. You might be contemplating moving to a smaller property or cheaper area soon or at some stage in the future. You could also get additional specialist advice on home equity release plans at some stage. Are you interested in exploring this option further?
Yes.
Which option are you interested in exploring, equity release or downsizing?
Downsizing.
If you're planning on moving to a cheaper area or downsizing, please tell me how much money you'd expect to have left after taxes and moving costs.
£150,000.
Thanks. And at what age do you expect to make this move?
65.
Let's see what this does. Congratulations, based on the information you've provided, we've calculated you can afford to retire. Remember, when we say you can afford to retire, we mean you can cover your essential expenditure to your average life expectancy. Please tap the Confirm Changes and Get Advice button below to continue with your journey. We've calculated that you can afford to retire and cover your essential regular expenditure to your life expectancy. We've also calculated you can cover your desirable regular expenditure to age 68. This is below your average life expectancy. If you're happy with this, please tap the Get Advice Report button at the bottom of the screen. This will lock in your responses and allow us to finalize your advice. Alternatively, before requesting your suitability report, I can help you fine-tune your plan. You could consider reducing your goals to see if that would save enough to fund your essential living expenses for life. You could consider generating some additional income for a few years, perhaps by working part-time, delaying your retirement, or raising some income from renting out part of your home. You could consider using your home. At some point in the future, you could consider downsizing, moving to a cheaper area, or getting advice on releasing some equity from your home. You may have some money coming to you in the near future which you have not included in your retirement plan, such as an inheritance. Which option would you like to try?
I'd like to try generating some additional income, please.
You'd like to try generating additional income, is that correct?
Yes.
If you think that you can generate some additional income for a few years, perhaps by working part-time, delaying your retirement, or raising some income from renting out part of your home, please tell me how much income you could generate each year.
£35,000.
When would you expect this to start?
Immediately.
When would you expect this to end?
10 years' time.
And finally, what would you like to call this income? For example, is it part-time work?
Yes, it's part-time work.
Let's have a look. You still can't quite cover your regular desirable expenditure to your average life expectancy. If you're happy with where you've got to, please tap the Get Advice Report button at the bottom of the screen. This will lock in your responses and allow us to finalize your advice. Alternatively, before requesting your suitability report, I can help you fine-tune your plan. You can edit any of your previously explored options by tapping on the relevant tab, or if you'd like to discuss further, we can look at another option together. Which option would you like to try?
None, thank you.
Okay, you know where I am if you need me.